with my numbers that I've already put in, and if I stay consistent on my baselines that I just talked about, I am going to attempt to talk to 137,067 people. I'm going to go what they call face-to-face or speak to 27,467 people, which will convert to about 1,333 leads. And they convert that down to about 5%. So total at the end of the year with these numbers, there will be about 67 potential deals with a possible revenue of just over 2 million. Now, there is going to be a lot of leeway in there, but the numbers shift very quickly. So let's dumb it down. Let's say I go down to 1 hour a day, average 5 days a week. That's going to bring me to about $794,000, almost $795,000 in revenue. The reason why I bring this up is that I can tell and I know what my per minute value is worth. So with this calling sheet, every call I make is worth $11 to me. I mean, $15 to me, excuse me. Every person I speak with is worth $76. Every minute I'm calling is worth $58. Every hour I am worth $3,472. And every lead is worth $1,563 to me. So to answer your question very quickly, that is how I track, and that's why I'm going after that stuff.
So the question is this: how do most agents succeed in today's competitive real estate market when all the successful agents are keeping the secrets to themselves? So that's the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. I interview agents from all over the world. I ask them their tactics, and they share all of their secrets with me so we can give them to the world. I'm Aaron Amuchastegui,
and welcome to Real Estate Rockstars.
Hey, Real Estate Rockstars. Aaron here with a quick commercial break. But hey, you've got to listen to this one. This one has a really, really short time offer on it. I tell you what, my friend Trevor Mock of Carrot is cooking up something super, super cool. Carrot Summit is coming up July 12th. It's a one-day virtual event for investors and agents who want to learn how to generate highly motivated, consistent leads online and how to grow and lead a team. The sessions will range from tactical breakouts on today's most effective marketing strategies like SEO, Google, AI, ChatGPT for lead gen, also to leadership topics like how 8-figure CEOs delegate. Trevor is an expert at that. If you follow him on social media, you'll see he shares so much about how he delegates and grows his huge businesses. How to avoid burnout as an entrepreneur, how to scale your team. They're going to have a wide range of experts that also come on and talk, 8-figure investors and agents, best-selling authors, industry coaches. I mean, you name it. If there's an event out there, he's doing it. But one of my favorite sessions is where you're going to learn how to train your team to profit from every single lead as a hybrid investor agent. You know, Carrot's been the authority on inbound lead generation in our industry for nearly 10 years. Trevor's team and business is one that I myself want to learn how to emulate. So join us on the summit to learn how you can build a business of freedom and impact. Go to carrot.com/rockstar for our link, or go to the show notes to grab your spot for free. All right, back to your podcast.
All right, welcome to the Real Estate Rockstars podcast. I am Shelby Johnson, guest hosting for Aaron Amuchastegui as he is still in Alaska. Today, we have Greg McDaniel with us, who is the host of the Real Estate Uncensored podcast and longtime real estate agent, still doing sales after 24 years. Welcome, dude. So glad to have you.
Dude, Shelby, thanks for having me. It was a blast to have you on my show. I am ecstatic to be back on this incredible show with amazing audience members, and we're going to drop hammer. So I appreciate you.
The hammer. No, okay, perfect. Yeah. Okay, well, Greg, I want to start out with the fact, like, I actually don't know your real estate journey at all. So can you hit me with how you got into real estate and the wave tops of your real estate journey?
Oh, shit. Okay, well, that's an interesting question. 10,000 foot view. Been doing it for 24 years, working a primary luxury market here in the San Francisco East Bay. Our average price is now about $1.5 million to 1.7 up to, 4 or 5 million pretty quickly. We do serve every single person in our community. Doesn't matter what they're buying. If you can live in it, we'll represent. My father's been doing the business for a little over 60 years. I started my podcast 7+ years ago, Real Estate Uncensored, purely to give back to real estate agents. Because when I got into the real estate industry was in 2000, when I failed my way epically out of college. I mean, we're talking gold medal, top of the podium, applause from the president kind of failure from college.
Damn.
Started working in a warehouse. My father talked me into working with him in real estate. I thought it was a joke. I literally just called it what dad does for work. I was going to go down to Hollywood and become a movie star. That obviously did not work out.
Naturally.
24 years later, here I am. Definitely ups and downs, pits and falls. I went through bankruptcy and foreclosure, lost 2 houses, 2 cars, and a girlfriend all at the same exact time because she told me I did not make enough money for her. She's a super awesome human being. And, that just pushed me to put my nose to the grindstone and learn everything I can. I had no money. So when I went down to $35 to my name, I made a promise to myself I'd never be back there ever again, because I remember having to work 7 to 8 days a week. No joke. Door knocking, cold calling, handwritten letters, database, networking, you name it. I was doing it before social media was there. And so I climbed my way out of it. And so I wanted to give back. And that is kind of my career. And now, we're doing some really incredible, fun things and then changing some lives around the world with the show.
Dude, so much, so many different directions. Okay. The one I want to go though. So you mentioned, you were down to $35. You were door knocking, cold calling, writing letters, like doing all of the things. So what do you do? Because I know that you're still closing deals. You're still working with clients. So what in your business now is your primary lead generation strategy?
I know it's old school and I completely agree with people when they say I'm antiquated, but that's fine. What has been working really well for me is twofold. One of which is going to be social media and video on social media reels and stories. Or short form content is really starting boosting the visibility to the point yesterday, at the date of this recording, I picked a $775,000 listing, and the client verified me through social media, saw my big following, and then her ex-sister-in-law is a follower of the show in Arizona, which made it like a clinch pin. And I got the listing. It was basically show up, don't kick him in the knees and call her mama fat. And I got the listing because of the fact that, there was already trust built there. So social media and video is really doing a lot of stuff. We've seen a shift on the cold calling sector. Again, as of this recording, used to be, for rent by owners, for sale by owners, expires are a really good hot source. We've seen a shift now over to like circle prospecting, especially around just pendings. And I'll explain how to do just pending circles. A lot of people are like, well, what if I don't have a pending property? No problem. I got you. But that has resulted in the assassins that I'm running with on a daily basis from 5 a.m. until about 5 p.m. All of us are calling across the country. We picked up, I think, 7 listings in the last 4 days between the 4 or 5 of us who are consistently calling around this. So we're seeing that pendulum shift in that direction right now.
Oh, again, you've done it. I'm like, shit, dude, do I want to talk about the social media and video content, or do I want to talk about the calling? But I think I want to shift. Let's do the cold calling, or maybe not calling. You were talking about circle prospecting. So with that, so many questions. First of all, I guess let's just go into talk about what you said you were going to say about getting around the just pending. Let's go there.
Not a problem. Okay, so if you're a new agent or an agent breaking into a marketplace, or maybe you took a hiatus and you're just getting back into your business, regrowing your brand, so on and so forth. A lot of the times we look over at the high producers are like, well, I can't call because I don't have 1, 2, 5, 10, 100 pending properties, which could generate interest. Here's your workaround. Go in, and I've done this and I've cleared it. People do it around the country. This is not an issue because your verbiage is going to make the huge distinction here. You're going to go into your MLS and you're going to pick an area that you work. And I want you to go look at just the pendings, right? Nothing else. I want you to sort it by days on market or DOB or days on market, DOM. And I want you to say the least amount of days at the highest possible list price. So let's say it's 0 to 5 days, somewhere in there. Then go in and say, okay, well, I'm going to pick a round number, $1 million. Great. This is a great property for me to call around. Want you to go call the listing agent and say, hey, Shelby, it's Greg over here at ABC Realty. Hey, congratulations, 456 Maple. I saw it go pending in the system. That's such a beautiful home. How many offers did you get? Now, sometimes they're going to tell you to go kick rocks. Sometimes, most of the time, they're going to probably say, oh, we got 2, or we got 1, or we got 3, or we got 5. Doesn't matter, right? At least they got 1. We know we got 1.
Hey, real estate rock stars. Aaron here with a quick commercial break. But hey, you've got to listen to this one. This one has a really, really short time offer on it. I tell you what, my friend Trevor Mock of Carrot is cooking up something super, super cool. Carrot Summit is coming up July 12th. It's a one-day virtual event for investors and agents who want to learn how to generate highly motivated, consistent leads online and how to grow and lead a team. The sessions will range from tactical breakouts on today's most effective marketing strategies like SEO, Google, AI, ChatGPT for lead gen, also to leadership topics like how 8-figure CEOs delegate. Trevor is an expert at that. If you follow him on social media, you'll see he shares so much about how he delegates and grows his huge businesses. How to avoid burnout as an entrepreneur, how to scale your team. They're going to have a wide range of experts that also come on and talk, 8-figure investors and agents, best-selling authors, industry coaches. I mean, you name it. If there's an event out there, he's doing it. But one of my favorite sessions is where you're going to learn how to train your team to profit from every single lead as a hybrid investor agent. You know, I've talked about that on here. We promote real estate agents and trying to tell people everything they need to do to get more lead gen. But one of my favorite talks at my mastermind last year was these guys that came on and said, hey, if you were only trying to go be a listing agent, then it's like you're working for tips. You've got to be that hybrid investor agent where sometimes you make offers to buy properties at the listing appointment while you're also telling them that you can list it for them. You know, I checked out the lineup and summary. They're going to focus on lead gen, mindset, vision casting, all stuff I talk about on the pod all the time. You know, I'm also a part of an annual mastermind Trevor puts together, and it's always one of my favorites. He definitely knows what he's doing, and him and I even grew up in the same small town in Oregon, so it's extra special to be able to promote this event for him. You know, Carrot's been the authority on inbound lead generation in our industry for nearly 10 years. Trevor's team and business is one that I myself want to learn how to emulate. I mean, he even has a competitive business to one of mine, but he does so well, I have to respect that. So join us on the summit to learn how you can build a business of freedom and impact. Go to carrot.com/rockstar for our link, or go to the show notes to grab your spot for free. All right, back to your podcast.
You go back out, and I use a system called RedX. And with RedX, I go into the geofencing or geocircle prospecting, and I use that address as a center, and I go 300 homes out in a radius. I grab that info, put it into my dialer, and I start my calls. And my verbiage is, hey, my name is Greg. I'm with ABC Realty here in town. Just wanted to let you know your neighbor over at 456 Maple was on the market, but they actually went pending last night, and they had 3 offers. That means that only one family got the home. That means there's 2 other families that are actively out there looking to spend a lot of money, and was wondering if you might be thinking about taking advantage of the prices. And so it's a home, not my home. A property went pending, not my property went pending. And then when they ask you about it, I always have it pulled up on my MLS. I talk positively about the agent, about the home, about the market. I have real stats pulled up on TopHap, which is another site I use for just insanely data crunching analysis on homes. It's awesome. I love TopHap. But I just really talk turkey with them. I use NAR-RPR. I have that pulled up. So I'll have copy and pasted their address into RPR, pulled up a quick report, been able to talk about the market stats like, well, the days on market are down, the prices are up this percentages, this is an active market. And then I'm like, would you like a report? What's your best email? Because I can click, paste, send right there. And people are amazed by this.
Okay, beautiful. Pause. I have so many questions. Okay, real quick. So love that. I think it's genius. Real quick on RedX. So you use RedX on the geo circle prospecting, the radius and all that stuff. So real quick, RedX it's not your CRM, right? That's where you're pulling the data.
Yeah, RedX is my triple line dialer and where I pull data from. Now it's a light CRM on the back just for keeping like dates and hot leads and warm leads and so on and so forth. And then they have a calling list you can jump into and reminders and all that stuff. But no, it's not a full blown CRM. No.
Okay, and real quick, I know, but just in case anyone doesn't, what is a triple dialer?
Triple line dialer is when you dial into a system, and then you can outbound dial up to 3 lines. So you call in, they verify that you set up, and then they're going to load 3 phone numbers simultaneously. And what you do is you press the start button. All of a sudden, bam, you're off to the races, 3 lines going. Now I have it set up as 3 lines with 4 rings per line. Now people say, well, gosh, what if 2 people pick up the exact same time? After 24 years doing this, I've had that happen 1 time, And that was it. Because the system, it's by a fraction of a nanosecond, and the odds of them actually hitting it exactly at the same time is virtually insanely, stupidly bad. So what they do is that as soon as I'm talking to Shelby, right, and then Bob picks up next, Bob is going to hear a recorded message that I put out there, and mine goes as follows. Hello? 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 Shoot, I don't know what's wrong with this thing. And obviously my phone's not working. Let me call you right back, man. I'm so sorry. Click. Now the person hears that, thinks I actually had a problem with my connection. I finish my conversation with the first person. My third line, so the second line pauses. The third line keeps dialing. They either get that hello, hello, hello message, or just goes to a stop and a pause until I'm done with my first line. Once I'm done with my first line, the whole thing restarts, and I'm off and running with 3 lines going. And then if they got the hello message, my program will then go back individually if I got 2 of them and call them back. They're called priority callbacks. Priority call those 2 people back, and then people will yell in your ear going, "Hey, can you hear me now?"
Oh my God.
Oh, shit, I forgot I freaking said they can't hear me. And then I have a conversation and keep moving forward, and I can crush out a couple hundred of these dials an hour pretty easily. My buddy Nate runs a 6-line dialer, and there's another program that runs a 10 to 12 line dialer.
Oh my God. Okay. How much does Redex cost a month?
It really depends on kind of the package you buy, kind of the data sets you want. There is a baseline for it. Depends on if you want a single line or a triple line. For Redex, if you guys are interested in Redex, I will give Shelby and the show my code where it will knock off the $150 sign up fee. So you can literally get going and calling at a 0 cost basis. You just pick your plan for geo leads, expireds, just listed, just for sale by owners, for rent by owners, all kinds of stuff in there. Go get them. It's awesome stuff.
Okay, love that. So we got the Redex, we've got how to have the reason for the call. So now on the call itself, so a lot of people probably are sitting there and they're like, I'm nervous. I just wrote down literally exactly what you say, but you also mentioned that you have like a group of people who call every day. What is that? Is that for everyone, or is that just for you? How do people get these reps in before talking to a real seller?
Well,
or maybe they get it in with the real seller.
Well, they could get it in with a real seller. That's what I actually used to do. And that's what scares everybody so much about it, because guess what? That is a rejection mindset. You're so full of fear about it. You're like, oh my God, I'm so afraid of being told no, I'm not going to do it, because we associate the word no with something negative. I've seen a lot of positive come out of no's in regards to not working with people that turn into being nightmare clients. I've stepped over a few clients like that in the past, and I've been grateful for that fact now, but not at the present time. So to get over your mindset, Redex, what you can do is you call into a special number with them, and then you can do role plays with a staff member, and you can get an easy, medium, or hard kind of rebuttals. The good thing is that they'll ask you what you want to call, what level you want to call at, and then you start having a conversation. They will always end on a positive, so your endorphins are kicked in, and you're ready to go out and actually start making real calls because you already mentally have a success built into your brain. Then they send you the recording so you can listen to it, because every day if you start this off, you're able to say, okay, yesterday my delivery was this, that my tonality was that. I'm going to shift this. I'm going to tweak that. I'm going to put this word here. I'm going to take that word out there. And you're going to keep getting these updated recordings so you actually understand what you sound like, not what you think you sound like. And that is a huge difference. Also, there's a huge bounce rate, which people are saying that is a problem in the calling industry. Would you go into spam? Now, what Redex has done is they have put in basically a burner number for you, right? So they monitor it and make sure if it starts getting popped up and flagged as spam, then they will take it out, put a new one in, and make sure you consistently get to the top and speak with the most amount of people.
Dude, Redex sounds sick. But also, I know there's other ones out there too. So if you don't want Redex in particular, I think there's Vulcan and other ones. But
yeah, there's Vulcan, there's Mojo. These are all, and there are more. These are the 3 that I hear about the most. But yeah, there's a lot of good ones, guys and gals. Go take a look at them all.
Dude, I had no idea that Redex had the ability to call in and role play and pick who you want the client to be and the levels of rebuttals that you get. That is insanely cool.
Dude, yeah, and they send you the recording. No one else does that.
Yeah.
So it's like when it comes down to accountability, if you're a team leader or growing a team or something like that, and you're saying, look, Miss New Agent, Mr. New Agent, you need to call into RedX every day. I need to hear your recordings. Well, if they don't get a recording, they didn't call in. Now it's accountability up to yin yang. They're going to do the calls or they're going to find another occupation.
Hey listeners, Aaron here. I just want to tell you about something I'm super excited about. You know, a couple months ago, I had a bunch of people in my office in Austin, and I taught what I called my foreclosure masterclass. It was to teach investors how to make money with distressed real estate investing through foreclosures and other sorts of leads that are out there of people that are desperate to sell or need to sell, and maybe they don't even know it yet. And that process. Well, we had so much fun when everyone came to the office. So many people said they wanted to do it again. I recorded the class. It's now live and available for purchase. So if you're interested in learning about becoming an investor and learning about becoming an investor agent, being able to educate yourself some more around foreclosures, about distressed real estate and how to get those, go to theforeclosuremasterclass.com, theforeclosuremasterclass.com. All right, back to the podcast.
Dude, okay, that is so powerful. So I got from this point, we're all the way up to the point where you are calling people, you have the reps in for the conversations, you get someone who is interested, and you mentioned that RedX was not you mentioned that it was a light CRM. So at what point are you transferring over to a real CRM, and what real CRM do you use?
So we've been using Top Producer for 20. I've been using Top Producer my entire life. A lot of people love Chime. A lot of people like, KV Core. We also have KV Core with EXP, the full blown version with EXP. I transfer as quickly as possible and then put them on follow up plans and so on and so forth. But the number one thing I found for following up with these people is just asking them, hey, Shelby, what in your world, what would be the best possible way for me to follow up? Would it be tomorrow, next week, next year, next month? And would it be email, phone, or phone call, text, or how would you like it? And then whatever you say, obviously I cut it in half. You say, Greg, 6 months, great. I call you 2.5 months. We start the conversation again and we keep moving forward. Also, we found that a lot of video follow-ups, if we can get their email, has been extremely amazing. A lot of the guys I'm calling with are getting leads and listings right now from 6 months to 2 years ago, sending folks a weekly, monthly email campaign, and people are calling, well, hey, look, come list my $500,000 home, my $800,000 home, my $1 million home. And they hadn't been watching the videos for like 6 to 8 months, but it was branded in their brain. Yeah. So you have to be upfront and on top of this. The number one thing I've been doing is I rip out my iPhone here, right? And as soon as I have a conversation with someone on doing my calls with RedX, I'll say, hey, this is your cell phone, right? Yes, great. Graham. I hang up my dialer. I go to my cell, open it up, get their cell, shoot them a quick video text going, hey, Shelby, it's Greg, blah, blah, blah. Put a face with a name. Just wanted to say thank you for your time. You were amazingly kind to me, and I look forward to working with you and your friends and your family. Have a great day. We'll talk soon. The information we talked about, it's in the email coming soon. Out. People freaking love that. And it takes 2 seconds. It takes 2 seconds.
Yeah, you did that with me. It totally worked. Like the first time after we did our Instagram DMs and we exchanged numbers, I saw your face like 2 seconds later in my friggin' inbox. I was like, yo, dude, what's up? Good to see you. But okay, so question about that then. So you're calling via the RedX dialer, and then at that point you get their preferred means of communication. And are you texting them through Top Producer, through your CRM? Is that how you're doing the video?
No. So I've exported everything out and I've kind of put my own little system together. I used to use another program who I'm not going to mention here on air. They did a pretty good job with video emails. We had a difference of opinions on a certain aspects. So we decided to part ways. And it is really simple to kind of push out your emails. If you want to make it really, 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 really simple, just to start out, put everybody on a Facebook group. You can get in there and tell them you're going to put them into your county, your city Facebook group with your name attached to it. Then you can do mass messages, videos, video texts. You'll post in there specifically to them. If you have no money, this is a free way to do it that I've done it, because then you can create live videos just for that group and get their eyeballs still on that. But go look around, explore. There are a lot of options out there to create video newsletters. And the ideas for these videos, guys and gals, go to ChatGTP, just ask it, give me 3 reasons to live in the city, 3 reasons not to live in the city. And kind of start with that, the different cities, ask it for 3 different notable places, 3 different notable people that live in the area, go shoot on those different locations, send it out to your database, and people are going to go, I'm like, man, this guy, this gal, they're really that person around town. They really know stuff. And gosh, that garden you showed my family the other day, I took my kids to it and we bought a brand new plant and it's all thanks to you. Here, list my $1 million mansion. Okay, thanks.
Dude, okay, question. So are you getting most of your video and content ideas from ChatGPT, or how are you getting your content ideas?
That's a loaded question. So what I've been told for a long time is when I was a deer hunter and a pig hunter when I was younger with my grandfather, and we were hunting when I was younger. And I asked my grandfather, I said, Grandpa, how can you see the deer in the shrubs and the trees? And he looked at me really closely and he said, Greg, you have to look for what doesn't belong. So I inverted that comment and I said, look for what's missing or what's not being used, what's not being talked about. Because if something's really being talked about, there's a counter side to that, right? So what else is being out there that's being discussed? And so for me, I just look for anything that interests me that I haven't seen anyone else talk about. I then go and number one, make sure that it's ethically okay to talk about it. I'm not breaking any rules or regulations or anything, stepping across certain lines. And then I just start talking about it. And if people like it, you'll know very quickly because they'll give you responses. But sticking to, inventory, the marketplace, pending, sold, your relationships, the price per square foot. Those are good ones. Comparing 2 different properties, like, hey guys, property A and property B, both west side, both single story, both within these 2 different, parameters of these 2 different streets. Going over pros and cons, letting people understand why you would buy, why you wouldn't buy. Huge hits. People love those because it's the either or. But yeah, there's 1,000 ideas there. So I can keep going.
Okay. No, that makes sense. So I'm just bringing it back to like in a chronological order of what we were talking about. So we've spoken to them on the phone and they said follow up in 6 months. So you said follow up in half that time when you said 2.5 months. Mm-hmm. But from there, obviously you're going to follow up when they told you to, but that's where you're going to put them in your CRM, which you mentioned was Top Producer, and you're going to start like a drip campaign series. And that's where you put some of these videos. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So we do a drip campaign, and we do a lot of just typical emails, some video. We are going to get back into the video, but yeah, that's how we've been building it. We put it into different, lists. So we have one called the candy list, which is our past clients and the folks we drop off candy to during the holidays. That's what we call it, the candy list. And those are our big referral base. So those are the ones we're really touching and really trying to drip out as much as we can. But yeah, every system is, and I'm not trying to be elusive on this answer, but the reason why is that Top Producer is relatively a little bit more outdated than Chime or, any of the other big ones going on right now. So go look at the newer ones that are out there. I'm just stuck with this one because that's where all of our notes are. And it's been a thorn in my side. So go look at some of the new ones, my guys. They're going to have a lot more features.
Okay. Earlier, again, more directions that I want to go. But earlier you mentioned, was it Top Hat?
So it's going to be called Top. So TOP HAP, Top Hap. They're going to be coming on my show here relatively shortly. Actually, the founder of the program, I didn't know this. I actually trained him when he first got into real estate. And so they're actually based here in Danville in the San Francisco Bay Area. And this program is insane. I mean, I can talk about how loud each different lot is. Walkability. I can tell you past taxes, any kind of permits, who owns what. I can tell you about the topography of the lot. We can look at different types of land to see if there's different building platforms there where you can actually put a couple of structures. The list goes on and on and on. On the new Top App Explorer app, which I really like. You can drive down the street and you see a house, and you're like, oh, that's pretty cool. You can click on it. It'll say fly around. You can click on the fly around button. It will then do a digital pop up, and you can see what the lot looks like. and see if there's any back structures or what it backs up to. So for buyers, it's very powerful. When you're out and about, they're like, oh, well, I really want that room for that ADU in the backyard. Well, how are you supposed to see that from the front? Hit the pop-up thing, whoop, fly around, see if it's something that might work, and then go from there. So Top App is very, very intuitive.
Dude, that's super cool for all the nerding out, all of the stalking.
So much nerding out.
Okay, for cold calling, you make it sound really easy. You know, you're like running through it and you're like, oh, you know, then you just call 4 people at a time and then this is my voice and all that stuff. So like real talk though, how many hours are you putting into cold calling per day, per week? And do you know like the conversion rate? Like what does that stuff look like?
So right now, let me pull this up here. So I'm crunching out some of my numbers. Hold on, I'm pulling up a sheet right here. I'm gonna change this. Oops. So I do know that. So out of our numbers that we're ripping through, so out of about every 250 outbounds, we'll get about 25 good conversations. Which of those will convert about, we do a rough low number, about a 5% conversion rate. So our estimated median price right now is about $1,250,000, give or take a couple of bucks, with different neighborhoods at a 2.5% commission rate. Right now, I'm probably calling at least 3 hours, probably at least 3 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week, which is going to put, and I'm calling 40 weeks out of the year. So that's 77% of the year I'm calling. So I'm prospecting about 15 hours a week total, right? With some of my preliminary numbers here, I just restarted this sheet a little while ago. I have one CMA appointment that was yesterday, so I got that one. And then I have 5 more potential buyers and sells. And my calling sheet that I'm working with is worked out for me that with my numbers that I've already put in, and if I stay consistent on my baselines that I just talked about, I am going to attempt to talk to 137,067 people. I'm going to go what they call face-to-face or speak to 27,467 people, which will convert to about 1,333 leads. And they convert that down to about 5%. So total at the end of the year with these numbers, there will be about 67 potential deals with a possible revenue of just over 2 million. Now, there is going to be a lot of leeway in there, but the numbers shift very quickly. So let's dumb it down. Let's say I go down to 1 hour a day, average 5 days a week. That's going to bring me to about $794,000, almost $795,000 in revenue. The reason why I bring this up is that I can tell and I know what my per minute value is worth. So with this calling sheet, every call I make is worth $11 to me. I mean, $15 to me, excuse me. Every person I speak with is worth $76. Every minute I'm calling is worth $58. Every hour I am worth $3,472. And every lead is worth $1,563 to me. So to answer your question very quickly, that is how I track, and that's why I'm going after that stuff.
Dude, I hate you so much right now. That is so fucking cool. Like, no one knows that. No one has that information. When you were sorting for it, I thought that you were trying to figure things out in your brain of how to answer. And I was like, shit, I probably should have asked him that. And you have it though. Yeah, $3,472 an hour. Get out. Well, and then
that's in my marketplace. That's what I'm worth, right? But imagine your number. I mean, that's a fucking stupid large number. Let's be real honest about that.
Yes.
A lot of people are going well, that's just not realistic. Okay. Yeah. Let's talk. Let's have that conversation. Let's say average price is, let's say, $225,000. Exact same stats we just talked about. That could be potentially bringing you in about $125,000 a year, which means every single hour is worth $625 to you. You still telling me that's not bragging rights? Get out of here. Doctors and attorneys don't even make $625 unless you're like Johnny Cochran or something, or pick some big name. Yeah, totally dated me when I said that, but anyways.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know who that is, but that's fine. Sorry. Hey, Greg, you mentioned a calling sheet. Like, what is on this calling sheet? Is it part of RedX? Like, what is this?
I'm sorry, I'm not following. Call in sheet?
You said on my calling sheet, I think.
Oh, that's the calling sheet we just went over. All the stats and numbers and everything else.
No, that's
mine.
Excel?
Yeah, this is something that was my father built this for me. So it's one of a kind. It's not been reproduced anywhere else. It's the only one I can ever find that can actually analyze and break down these numbers so specifically. But yeah, I built it. This is the one I'm using, and this is why I encourage people to do it. Because when your spouse or your best friend, or your coworker, or your boss, or anyone goes, "Well, why are you doing this calling or this prospecting, or why is this door knocking thing?" You're like, "Well, because I'm worth this much money with this potential revenue with my skill set." And for people who are listening to podcasts like this amazing show, you know what? They probably have an interest in learning. So kudos to every human being listening to my voice. Let's say this podcast made you 1% better in your converting rate from 5 to 6%. So at 5%, at $225,000 average sale, like we just talked about, or about $125,000 a year, 1% better, you're just tacked on another $25,000. You're at $150,000 a year for 1% better. That's all you have to do. No extra time. No extra time. Add 1 hour a day. It's going to almost double it again. It's $500,000.
Okay, I have to ask because everyone is listening is like, ask him if I can get a copy of the call-in sheet. Is that a thing? Like, do you share that, or is that like top secret?
No, I actually built a indestructible version, and I have to find it. It might be on one of my old computers, but I did get it built. So maybe it's somewhere in my emails. Shelby, you know, I'll communicate. If I can find it, I'll absolutely give it away to your listeners. Absolutely.
Dude, yes. And my follow-up game is fucking strong. So I am on you. I'm in there like swimwear.
Like, just let's go.
Dude, exactly. I'm going to get that sheet. Okay. One more question before we start wrapping it up that actually, oh, that's it. I was like, I had it. I don't know where it is. So you mentioned like that you call with people every day. Like, is that open for everyone? Can everyone call with you? Or what does that look like with your crew of assassins? You're like, no, Shelby, not for you. Got it.
No one gets into this group unless you're explicitly invited. It's a very unique crew of human beings, but it's like my style of humans, right? Some folks wouldn't like this style of assassins. They would be irritated, ticked off, triggered. Whatever is going to be a negative in someone's mindset, because we're just a bunch of dudes being a bunch of dudes, making calls, having fun, making business, encouraging each other. So if you guys want to find a crew like this, find some hungry coworkers either around you or around the world that you guys respect, you guys can learn off of, you guys can be sponges from, and better yourself by the people you want to associate with. Your tribe will come to you faster than you can ever imagine. If you just put out there, if Shelby goes, "Hey guys, I want to get together with like 4 or 5 just incredible, killer ladies who are just making some amazing epic calls. Let's feed off each other. Let's get our businesses up. Let's help each other, blah, blah, blah." The ladies would come out of the woodwork to support each other. Same for the dudes. So go out there, guys and gals, find your tribe. Start doing the calls, do it with a couple of people, and celebrate. And this is the big thing, Shelby. Celebrate your losses. The fuck did you just say, Greg? I said, I want you to celebrate your losses. So you're going to gamify this whole thing of calling. People get down and out going, oh my God, like I got rejected. Like this caller told me to go F myself. Yeah, because you call them out of the blue. 3% of the people actually even want to talk to you. So you have 97% fail rate already. So when you get the big F off, which when you get the missed listing appointment or the missed buyer opportunity, I want you to go up and ring the bell. Whoever rings the bell the most in one day means that person is the most active prospector out there. They are getting closer and closer to a yes, while you fall farther and farther behind because they're going to eat your lunch and you're going to be like, well, why? I didn't get the listing. Because you didn't sit your butt down and do the fucking phone calls or the prospecting that everyone else is doing. So find your crew. Do your calls, do your marketing, do your prospecting, but have fun and just enjoy it. Just laugh. And this will be way easier, believe me.
Hey, Real Estate Rockstars. We only have a few minutes left in this episode, but before we get to the grand finale, I just wanted to say, as always, thank you for listening. You know, podcasts are obviously free. You don't have to pay to listen to the podcast, but if you could pay one thing, if I could charge you one thing to listen to this podcast, what I would ask you to do is go, please, make a review. Go to wherever you listen to podcasts, whether it's on YouTube or on Apple or Android, wherever you listen to podcasts, and go give me a review of the podcast. I read them, I listen to them, I try to make adjustments. You know, a couple years ago, I had a ton of bad reviews on the sound quality or the number of advertisements, things like that. And I've really tried to dial in to add value for all of you guys. So please go do a review. If you want to get a copy of the toolbox of the stuff that, you know, everybody that comes on the show, they give us some tactics, they give us something that we put in what we call our toolbox. And so to get that, you go to realestaterockstarsnetwork.com. When you get there, click on the toolbox and you get access to the free gift that every person that we interview on the episode provides. There's things like, you know, listing tactics, how to do a presentation, you know, how to do a newsletter, all sorts of cool, fun stuff. And if you want to talk to me, go find me on Instagram at Aaron Amuchastegui. Ask me a question. I talk to so many of you guys on there. All right, back to the show. Thanks again for being a listener.
And it is funny because, like, again, right before we hit record on this, you were like, okay, bye dudes, see you after this interview. So does that mean that you guys just like exist on Zoom all day? Like there's like a Zoom or something in the background and you're all just on it and you're all just like suffering, but also having fun and like sharing the losses and all the shit. And that is the Assassins, essentially. Yeah.
The Assassin crew is running strong every single day. I mean, I get on with them between 4:30 and 5 in the morning. They're calling East Coast. Our buddy Paul Black, he's out of SoCal. He jumps on. He's calling for Florida. He's set 5 appointments in 3 days. 5 appointments in 3 days. The rest of the guys are all over the East Coast and kind of the Eastern United States. And so we just get on, and then someone will leave a thread of a Zoom all day long, or someone will start one because we all have a WhatsApp message board running, and we all jump in like, hey, where's the link? Who's calling? Let's do this. Let's do that. You know, and then we put ideas in. So we just push and push and push and push and push each other to do this. But yeah, it's a running thread, 100%.
Okay, that's adorable. So, okay, Greg, you've been doing this for 24 years, and it honestly sounds like you are not just good at it, but also like you genuinely like it. So what is look ahead, like for the next 20 years, like, do you see this as being, you know, till death do you part with real estate, or what does the future look like?
Great question. You know, there's a couple of different options coming down my way right now. Right now, I'm actually just settling in and just getting really comfortable with my deal count because we've gone through a shift on our team. One of our partners, because of family health issues, he has stepped away and is focusing more around his family. So, and then my father is basically retired. So it's gone from 3 or 4 of us down to me, which I freaking love. I can't tell you about the show, Shelby. I can't tell you on the show. I'm unleashing and launching a marketing platform and program that nobody's ever done. Literally no one's ever done. No one's even thought about it, but it sits right in front of you every single day. We're out and about in the world, but you haven't seen it yet. And I've already had my first proof back today, and I'm going to tweak it up. And then once this thing starts working, I'll come back on your show if you'll have me, and I'll let you know the numbers and the stats and the costs. Once I tell you what this is, your heads will freaking explode, literally explode. And it's so simple to put in at almost a zero cost.
It's good. We'll see if we can pencil you in. You know, the value was like not almost there, but we'll see. Dude, just kidding. Well, that sounds dope, and can't wait to have you back. And in the meantime, though, where can people find you?
I appreciate the question. Folks, if you want to get a hold of me directly, you can text or call me at my phone, my personal cell. Pay the bill at least once a quarter. It is area code 925-915-1978, or follow me on YouTube. And that's going to be the Real Estate Uncensored show on YouTube. It's where you're going to really want to follow me there. And then Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, just look for Greg McDaniel and you'll be able to find me. So yeah, check it out there. Thank you, Shelby.
Love it, of course. And thank you so much for coming on the show today. And listeners, if you want to hang out with me, I am The Shelby Show on Instagram. And of course, Aaron is Aaron Amuchastegui, the hardest name ever to say, on the gram. So that has been Greg McDaniel, guys. Real Estate Rockstars, thanks for listening.